In today's episode, we're going to compare the 2026 Genesis. We got the GV70 Sport Prestige versus the GV80 Prestige Black. Both all-wheel drive, both with the 3.5T. So what's going to be the differences between the two? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to also go over some pros and cons. And we're going to start off with the GV70 in the Mona Red over Vanilla Beige Obsidian interior. The Sport Prestige, this is the top of the line trim, all-wheel drive configuration, towing up to 5,000 pounds. It has a 360-degree reverse camera, which is unique only to Genesis, Hyundai, and Kia. And what I mean by that is with these vehicles, both of them have an electronically controlled suspension. So when you go here to the GV70 or GV80, it has a system that is used to read the road in front of you. It's called road preview by using that camera. It basically keeps the vehicle level going over potholes or imperfections in the road. Now this 360-degree reverse camera, it goes another step because it also has another feature called blind spot view monitoring, and it's in both two of these because these are both the top of the line trim. When you use your indicators, it will show what is in your blind spot on the gauge cluster. The front of the GV70 is going to have LED headlights and daytime runnings with the new MLA assembly, which is the micro lens array. The front has been refreshed. It's going to have the glossy black elements because this is the Sport Prestige trim. The lower is going to have the same that follows with 7.3 inches of clearance and front parking sensors. Now the GV80 Prestige Black. This is going to get black elements that's going to highlight for the front fascia, the badging, the lower, 8.3 inches of clearance, front parking sensors, and you have the same MLA LED headlights and daytime runnings. But another difference is you're noticing the GV80, it's lifted up a little bit more so than the GV70. You're still getting that sporty style for the profile. This is in a uni white over obsidian black obsidian. And housed underneath the hood is going to pack the same 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. That's producing 375 horsepower with 391 pound-feet of torque. Both are paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, but the GV70, 18 mpgs for the city, 25 mpgs for the highway, and you're getting 21-inch wheels with 4 pistons behind the Genesis print. So you got the stoppage, you got the sporty profile, you get the glossy black on the lower skirt, a touch of the smoke chrome on the door handles and around all the window trims, as well as the gloss black on the roof rails. Towing up to 5,000 pounds in an all-wheel drive configuration, whereas the GV80, you're getting 16 mpgs for the city, 22 mpgs for the highway. Does it sound like a huge difference? No, it's only 2 and 3. All-wheel drive, 5,000 pounds of towing, all the same lingo, except you're getting the glossy black on the lower skirt, the door handles, the roof rails, the crossbars. The only con that I have here is they put the silver in between. What the heck were they thinking? Because you're paying extra for this. Especially when they're pairing it with these enormous 22-inch wheels. You're still getting the 4 pistons in the front with the Genesis badging. It looks a lot more dominant. It's going to be longer, and that's at 194.5 inches long for the GV80. That's 8.9 inches longer than the GV70, both with quad LED taillights. The lower is going to be a little bit more aggressive in my book on the GV70 because you get the dual exhaust that's exposed, you get the grille pattern, but then, like I say in most of the reviews, they kind of forgot what they were doing here. Whereas on the GV80, they get the grille pattern. It basically covers up the dual exhaust that should be exposed, considering the fact that you're getting so much power underneath the hood. And it also has a digital rear view mirror. So when you add all the safety technology that Genesis is doing, backing it with the best warranty in class, and you have performance and you got styling, which way would you go? Let me know in the comments. If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button. If you haven't already, click the like, because all these clicks help with the algorithm so we can bring more comparison reviews and videos to the channel. On the GV70 power liftgate, going into 28.9 cubic feet of storage. You have the privacy cover here, LED interior lights with a 12 volt. Underneath the floor is going to get a little bit of storage. And from front to back, that's reading about 37 to near 38 inches. From side to side, you got about 42 inches. And a split fold the rear bench, Genesis does it right. You pull the tabs, it's going to fold out at a 60-40 split, maxing cargo to 56.9 cubic feet. And now the GV80, how does it stack up against it? This is going to be 36.5 cubic feet, which is 7.6 cubic feet more than the GV70 LED interior lights. You get a little storage nook. You still get the 12 volt underneath the floor. Still gets the storage for the privacy cover as well as your spare tire. And that's going to read from front to back to about 43 inches. And from side to side, you got a max of 52 inches. And between the wheel wells, it's about 42 inches. But with the GV80, you have electronic rear bench. You push the buttons, it's gonna fold down at a 60-40 split as well, maxing cargo to 71.7 cubic feet, which is 14.8 cubic feet more than the GV70. The key fob to the GV70 Sport Prestige. And I'm gonna show you the auto start stop. So you don't have to pay any premiums for this. And now we're going to use the keypad here on the side to move the vehicle forward and backwards. And this is called smart parking. And you can do this about 10 to 15 feet away from the vehicle. And you can also reverse it. It's nice because if you need to get into tight spaces, this really becomes key. Or if you want it to look like a valet service like I'm doing right now, you can also do that also. Going into 14-way power seat adjustment for the driver, 12-way power seat adjustment for the passenger, heated ventilated seats, ergo motion seat for the driver, memory for the driver, upgraded Bauer & Wilkins sound system, LED interior lights, the new 27-inch OLED screen configuration. Check out the leg space that I got, about 6 inches. And you get the carbon fiber that's going to be found throughout with the contrast stitch in orange. And it's not necessarily a driver focused setup because this is flat, but this is actually curved just a touch. Let's fire it up. Heads-up display, auto-dimming rear view mirror with the home link, LED interior lights. You got a sunglass holder, upgraded headliner with the panel moonroof. Also has Genesis Connect services, as you heard. Tri-climate control settings. This is a new touchpad, and I actually really like the design of this. It's very sporty and elegant. You got your driver mode select right here to go into the gauge cluster. And when you go through here, let me just close this out so that way you can see exactly what I'm talking about. You have a ton of different driving modes, but it also has a Sport Plus mode. You have your My mode, which you can go and configure different things. And with this system, it has a new touchpad here on the steering wheel that's also been redesigned. You get the paddle shifts. It's also multi-function. And you get the sensor here that's going to read you for your adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist. And check this. Turn your signals, blind spot view monitoring. That's the camera. That's right there, right here. So you never have to worry if, God forbid, somebody's trying to hit you on the side. You can see them, plus you still got the blind spot monitoring system. Put it into reverse, and you get a 360-degree reverse camera. And they go a step further because you got sensors all around the vehicle, not just front and rear. You click onto the sub-menu, and now you can change this whole layout for the towing. You can change it for the side-to-side, and you can have it for the whole back. This is your 3D view, so you can go all around the vehicle. And when you put it into drive, now you have a new sub-menu. Click onto the top. Now you have trajectory for the front, like a car wash view. You can change it here so you see the whole front, side to side yet again, and the whole front. So they make it just more safe than pretty much anybody in class. Everything here has been reworked. Wireless charging pad, it's soft to touch. It opens up to a medium storage pocket. It's what you would expect with this sporty car design. And you get a little card holder here. 2 USB ports, you get a 12 volt, you get sport pedals, and check out the leg space for the driver. It's more than generous. You got 7 to about 6.5 inches headroom with this panel moonroof. I still probably have about 4 or 5 inches, but you can let me know in the comments. The door panel and dash, it configures it together nicely, and it actually wraps around the whole dash, and it carries that segment into the rear. It's going to be more sporty yet again, even for your arms to rest with the carbon fiber. One touch up and down for the windows. All the windows are acoustic, so a lot of sound deadening here with a long storage pocket, a beverage holder, orange seat belts. For the back seats, this is the opening that you have to fit 2 more, and you get the manual sunshade, so it blocks out the UV because it gets pretty hot here in the state of Florida. You get the contrast stitch ambient lighting, and just like I said, that pattern that carries from the front, carries to the back. Soft, it's going to be more sporty. Bang & Olufsen comes into the back. You get the carbon fiber with the smaller storage pocket. Sitting behind me, The seats are carved out so I can fit here, but sitting in the sides, we're gonna see. I got about an inch on both sides to maybe half an inch. Cup holders with an armrest, third climate control, heated rear seats, USB ports, home plug, irritate the heck out of the front by sitting in the back. You got a little storage in the back as well. And look at this headroom. Is it enough for 6'3"? It is. It's not bad. I got about 2 or 3 inches. And you can also recline these seats, which I don't know if I would go this far back, but probably about this way, so it's a little bit more comfortable. Let me know if it's a bit different in the headroom. Sliding into the center knee space, there's no need to bring a tape measure out because I'm pretty much against it at my dimensions. Sharing feet, butt, leg, and shoulder space. But when you're talking about space, I mean, I still got at least 17 inches. That's actually pretty good for the size of this SUV, and even headroom is actually more optimal for somebody like me sitting to the center. Just don't have me sitting here because I'm just too tall. The key fob to the GV80 Prestige Black. 14-way power seat adjustment for the driver, 12-way power seat adjustment for the passenger, heated ventilated seats, ergo motion seats for the driver, which is basically a massage, and you got memory for the driver. Bang & Olufsen sound system, it's all blacked out, and that's going to be the cue to the interior. Now the GV80, you're going to have the ambient lighting. Because this is the Black Prestige, everything's going to be blacked out, even the wood highlights, and I like the way the design is to it with this 27-inch OLED touch screen configuration. It's driver focus setup just the way this is here, but look at the leg space that I have, 6 to near 7 inches, and you could go back a little bit more so, and the wood carries on into this section, so it gives more of that luxury instead of the performance style. Let's fire it up. That was my tape measure. Now you have a lot of digital screen configuration, including a digital rear view mirror, auto dimming rear view mirror. You get the home link, LED interior lights. You get the upgraded panel moonroof, and it's 2 different moonroofs, so I like that setup there for the luxury style with the heads-up display. It's a sporty dashboard, the way the door card configures into the dash, and I like the softness that comes in. So they really do a good job expressing the luxury in the vehicle. This is all cleaned up too. So you open this up, you get a wireless charger, USB 12 volt, close that off, and now nobody's gonna bother you with your phone. Let it ring and ring and ring. Dual climate control settings here. Somebody farts, click that button, and it's gonna smell nice. And now moving on into this OLED screen configuration, you got the pinch, you got the swipe, you got all of this wireless connectivity. It has a 360-degree reverse camera, and it goes further because look at all of the sensors you have here, and look at the black that still comes into play. Even the car is black, it's white. They just go a little bit over the top. Everything black, which is not going to be the case in any other car except for the Prestige Black. Click on this submenu, you got different camera layouts here, and you can go all around the vehicle here. When you're going forward, you got a new submenu that opens up this way, and you can do the same thing with your trajectory for the front, the sides, and over here. Oh, you know what? We just found a mess up. Look at this. This is white. Oh man, Genesis messed up. We found it. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. Blind spot view monitoring, we got it. And it's on both sides. You just got to use this signal here. You push the stock up or down. It doesn't cost extra. It's in every vehicle. But this feature here is not. Leather wrap steering wheel, it's heated, multi-function. This is a new touchpad that's derived. Even the badging gets blacked out here on the steering wheel with the paddle shifts. Now when you change your driving mode select, you'll change the gauges, but it keeps it nice and sporty, keeping that black Q alive. It's gonna be more sporty here. Opens up into a storage tub, which you can remove that, and then it's a pretty deep storage pocket. Set that back. There isn't any past leg space for the driver, 6 to 7 inches. It's more than generous. Head space, I probably got about 3 or 4 inches, but you can let me know in the comments. Going back to the door panel, you get the smoked out chrome, which is a nice touch because it's not all gloss black, and they do a good job not putting gloss black because it's more of matte black. One touch up and down for the windows. You get that design coming in with a long storage pocket, a beverage holder. All the windows are acoustic to make it sound quieter in the interior. For the back seats, this is the opening that you have to fit 2 more with the cup holders and armrest down. Open this up and you get a little storage pocket here. Again, giving just that touch of class. You get the quilted design that comes into the back. tri-climate control, heated, ventilated rear seats. That's not going to be the case in the GV70. 2 USB-C ports, a home plug, storage behind both of the front seats, and you can irritate the front drivers, just like the GV70 in the back. They don't do it on the driver's side, which is smart, because if I'm driving, you don't want to know what happens. This is not going to be manual, it's power, and I appreciate that. You get the dark wood, it's going to be sporty with a medium-sized storage pocket, and these seats, they adjust power. And you have 4 different power seat adjustments. Sitting behind me, it's carved out for you. And check out that leg space. I got about 2 to 3 inches. Headroom is still generous, around 3 inches or so, but you can let me know in the comments. Sliding into the center, I have maybe half an inch to about 2 inches of knee space. You're not really sharing feet, but shoulder space, because you got a ton of space here. I have maybe 19 inches. And it's the same thing with headroom. I probably have 3 or 4 inches. And sitting onto the sides, I could check myself out before I do a review. So we're taking the GV70 out first. I mean, it's gonna get you a speeding ticket quick, smooth, quiet, but a con that comes right off the bat, and this is for all Genesis, is when you stay on Sport Plus or Sport mode, you're noticing it doesn't want to change the RPM. It just stays higher. So now I've changed it into comfort. We're going to put it in eco, and you can see how it starts changing the RPM. You don't get any difference in the steering. It only does it ticking up the RPM. It's going to feel a little bit more sporty in the drive also. Even though this is an electronically controlled suspension, you still have to remember you're paired with 21-inch wheels. But even with that being said, and this ground clearance, it's still really quiet. They did a great job sealing it up with the sound deadening and making everything acoustic all around us. But the main take really is you're getting 2 to 3 MPGs different. It's literally the same engine, just one is going to be nearly 9 inches longer. You're going to have a little bit more cargo capacity and more interior space. And when you go to the GV80, you can also option a 3rd row, whereas here you cannot. So if you need the more space, then I could say go that step. But I think the GV70 is good the way it sets. It doesn't feel heavy when you're pushing the gas. Turbo lag doesn't really have that much either. Maneuverability, you can get in and out of tight spots quick because it's not that long or wide of a vehicle. And literally it's reading the road 100% because the sides, the front, you can see it in the heads-up display. You can see it when you're using your indicators for the blind spot view monitoring. And now we're going to check the braking. It's going to go up a little bit more so we can see how those 4 pistons brake. It doesn't feel heavy, so I think it's a really great everyday / little sport and luxury mixed in together, because you get a lot of blended in here. Turn radius about 8.5. Let's rock and roll. Now, another thing I noticed with Genesis is it doesn't like to engage the paddle shifts right away. It really wants to escalate that RPM before it lets you change the gear. But I mean, you got the speed, you get literally everything ticked here with the savings. So is it better than the GV80? And now the GV80 Prestige Black. One thing I have already noticed between the two is it feels heavier, because this is the same power and this is a heavier vehicle. It's nearly 9 inches longer. So when you're pushing the throttle, if you drive the two to compare them, you're gonna tell a difference right off the bat. You do sit up higher and you do feel that too. 22-inch wheels, still pretty comfortable. I mean, an inch isn't gonna be a huge difference, especially considering the curb weight has increased. You both have the electronically controlled suspension and the road preview, so it should still be a luxury ride, but a little bit less on the sporty side here. And we're gonna put it into sport mode so we can really see the difference between it. It still has sufficient power though. And the only reason why you feel the weight more is because we drove the GV70. Otherwise, if you didn't, you would think that this is just well balanced. With that being said, we have a red light so we could really see the off the line, and we're gonna check the brakes right now. And it can stop on a dime. And just like the GV70, when you have it into sport mode, except this doesn't have a Sport Plus, it does not want to change the gear. Sound deadening is a little bit more quiet here, and this is larger, so they do a better job with the sound deadening. You also have the air freshener, which, like I said, in the interior, God forbid someone farts. I mean, it's normal. Just push that a couple of times, and it's gonna smell like a new Genesis. The back seats get power seats, heated and ventilated seats, so I appreciate that too. So it's not just aesthetics, you're actually getting a lot more value going this route, but this does tip into the $84,000 to near $85,000 price. So at some point you start thinking, is it worth going this route? I mean, considering this is basically a G90 lifted up with better clearance, I kind of like it. They don't have any E-supercharged engine though, so that is something that I dislike, because you could get that on the G90, which is a 48 volt mild hybrid system. But then in the same aspect, I like that we don't have any extra batteries added to the vehicle too. Maneuverability, you can do so. Look at this. People just stop in the middle of the road, literally. Unbelievable. You thought there was probably traffic by the way it looked. It doesn't necessarily feel too over the top, but it feels a lot more bouncy. It doesn't feel really as agile as the GV70. Turn radius is about 2 lanes. Let's rock and roll. So I would say the major difference between the two is it does feel heavier, even though it does have a sufficient amount of power. The braking is still good. You got a lot more interior amenities. It feels a little bit more luxurious, but the seats are still sporty. And this feels a little bit more boaty instead of like kind of a sports car lifted up. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out this next video right here.